She invited her best friend to our anniversary, ignored me completely, and said I should grow up. When I left early, the screenshots his ex sent me confirmed the marriage was already over. My wife, Jenna, 34F, has always been particular. Bitchy, if we're being honest. The kind of person who could make a compliment sound like an insult and an insult sound like a diagnosis. I'm used to it by now. Or I thought I was. I'm Mark, 36M, and for the last decade I've been married to a woman who treats customer service workers like adversaries, treats her friends like an audience, and treats me like I'm lucky she acknowledged my existence at all. Still, it was our anniversary, and I stupidly hoped we'd have one peaceful night. I booked a reservation at a high-end steakhouse, a place with candles on the table and waiters who brush crumbs away between courses. I even ironed my shirt, something Jenna rarely notices unless I get it wrong. We're 5 minutes from leaving when she says it. Oh, by the way, Trevor's joining us. I blinked. Trevor, your best friend? Her tone sharpened immediately, like I'd already done something wrong. Don't be weird. He just got back from Mexico and wants to catch up. Don't make this an issue. Make this an issue? She just invited another man to our anniversary dinner. A man who calls her sweetheart, as a joke, and once hugged her so long I wondered if he fell asleep. I planned this for us, I said, keeping my voice level. She rolled her eyes. God, Mark. Don't be dramatic. You can see me literally every day. I haven't seen him in weeks. And that was that. She grabbed her purse and sailed out the door like a queen, expecting me to follow. Trevor was already at the table when we arrived. My table, my reservation, my anniversary, and somehow he already had a drink. And not just any drink. A $24 craft cocktail with a sprig of rosemary sticking out like a radio antenna. Jenna lit up like he'd descended from heaven. She didn't look at me like that anymore. Maybe she never did. The conversation was all between them. Inside jokes, lingering glances, him touching her forearm every time he made her laugh. I might as well have been the server. But the moment that changed everything? The moment I stopped being confused and started being suspicious? When the waiter brought the wine list, Trevor leaned back and said, "What's your most premium red? Something special. We're celebrating." We. And Jenna? She just smiled. The waiter didn't even blink. He went straight for the locked cabinet behind the bar, the one they only open for people who look like they tip in $100 bills. He pulled out a bottle with a label so fancy it didn't even have a name on it. Just a gold crest. $340, he said politely. I swear I saw Trevor smirk. Jenna didn't even look at me. She was too busy adjusting her hair, practically preening under his attention. Perfect, Trevor said. Mark's treating us tonight. Mark's treating us. Our anniversary suddenly belonged to 3 people, and guess which one barely counted? I waited for Jenna to correct him, or at least acknowledge how insane this was. She just said, "Ah, that's so sweet of you, babe." Sweet of me. I hadn't even opened my mouth. The wine arrived. They toasted to friendship, to memories, to being reunited. Not to marriage. Not to milestones. Not to 10 years of my life. And as they sipped the wine I was supposedly paying for, I started noticing things I'd ignored for years. Like how she leaned in just a little too close when he talked. How her smile changed. Brighter, younger, like I'd been watching a performance version of her and he got the real one. How he kept resting his hand on the back of her chair like he owned the seat, the table, the night, and her. Jenna barely spoke to me unless it was to correct something I said or to laugh at a story involving Trevor. Every time I tried to join the conversation, she shot me this annoyed glance, like I was interrupting something intimate and sacred. At one point, he asked her, "Did you tell him yet?" She stiffened. "Not now." My stomach lurched. "Tell me what?" But she waved it away with a sharp look that made Trevor sit back and shut up. I was left staring at both of them, feeling like I'd missed half the script. The rest of dinner was them talking over me while I kept replaying that one question in my head. Did you tell him yet? Tell me what? Tell me why she'd invited him? Tell me why our marriage felt like a prop? By the time the check came, and the waiter cheerfully announced that the gentleman, meaning me, had already paid his portion, Jenna's face went pale. But I wasn't done yet. Because while they were too wrapped up in each other to notice, I'd already made my own quiet exit strategy, and I wasn't going home with her. When the server dropped the bill and said I'd already paid my portion, Jenna's face froze in this stunned half-smile, like someone had paused her mid-lie. Trevor blinked at her. Wait, he only paid his part. I stood, Slid my jacket on calmly. Yep. About 260. Cash. Already handled. Jenna's voice turned sharp instantly. Why would you do that, Mark? Who even does that? People who don't enjoy being disrespected at their own anniversary dinner, I said softly, keeping my tone level. Calm always enraged her more than yelling. Trevor scoffed. Dude, that's childish. I ignored him. He wasn't the one I needed answers from. Jenna stood too quickly, bumping into the table. The wine glasses rattled. You're making a scene. No, I said. Just leaving one. I took 2 steps back, giving myself physical distance from whatever performance she was about to put on. Her voice dropped low, venomous. You're seriously ditching me here? Seems appropriate, I said, since you ditched us the moment we sat down. Trevor leaned back in his chair, watching this like entertainment. That told me everything I needed to know about him, about her, about what had been simmering long before tonight. But the thing that sealed it? Jenna didn't chase me with an apology, or shock, or any hint this was a misunderstanding. Instead, she hissed, We'll talk about your little tantrum at home. At home, like nothing tonight had consequences, like the disrespect was mine, not hers. But I was already 3 steps ahead. I didn't go to the valet, didn't wait for my car. I slipped out the side exit by the kitchen, walked 2 blocks in the cool night air, and called an Uber to my brother's place. As soon as I closed the car door, my phone started vibrating nonstop. 12 missed calls, then 23, then 40. All Jenna. The text came next. Jenna, where the hell are you? Don't you dare embarrass me like this. You better come back. We need to talk now. You're acting insane. Not one single message said sorry. Not one acknowledged inviting another man. Not one mentioned our anniversary. When my Uber pulled up to my brother's building, I finally exhaled long enough to feel the first hit of clarity. Something had been wrong for longer than I'd admitted. And that question Trevor asked earlier, did you tell him yet? Echoed in my head like a warning. Because the more I replayed it, the more sure I became that there was something Jenna hadn't just forgotten to tell me. She was hiding it. And whatever it was, I wasn't going to like it. I didn't sleep that night. Not because of guilt or second guessing. No, those are luxuries husbands in healthy marriages get to experience. I stayed awake because every time I closed my eyes, I saw Jenna leaning toward Trevor, laughing at jokes that weren't funny, glowing in a way she never glowed for me anymore. My brother handed me a blanket for the couch, sat across from me, and said, You want to tell me why your phone is vibrating like it's trying to escape the building? I turned the screen around. 54 missed calls. 112 texts. He let out a low whistle. Dude, she sounds unhinged. Unhinged didn't even begin to cover it. The newest messages were worse. Jenna, pick up the phone right now. You're being abusive by ignoring me. Trevor says you humiliated both of us. You need to apologize to him, too. This is your fault for overreacting. I swear to God, Mark, you'll regret this. Regret. That word didn't come from a loving wife. It came from someone cornered, exposed, pissed that I didn't roll over like usual. My brother read a few texts and grimaced. What the hell is she trying to hide? The question hit me like a slap. Because the more I thought about it, the more everything clicked into a pattern I'd been too tired or too willing to ignore. Her sudden obsession with her phone. Her constant irritation with me over nothing. The way she dressed up more when she ran errands. The secretive smiles at notifications she'd angle away from me. The way she'd started showering before bed instead of in the mornings like she always had. And then there was this. Trevor's words at the restaurant. Did you tell him yet? Yet. Meaning she intended to tell me something. Meaning it wasn't random. Meaning this wasn't just a shitty anniversary. It was a pressure point. A moment she didn't expect to arrive this soon. My stomach tightened as a thought I'd avoided for months took shape for the first time without a filter. Was Jenna cheating on me? The idea had always felt too dramatic, too soap opera, too beneath the marriage I thought we had. But suddenly, it didn't feel dramatic at all. It felt like the only explanation that made sense. And the more I thought about it, the more it felt less like a hypothetical and more like a foregone conclusion. My phone buzzed again. A new message. But this one wasn't from Jenna. It was from an unknown number. Unknown. Hey Mark. You don't know me, but you really need to hear something about your wife. My brother leaned in. Answer it, he said. I stared at the message from the unknown number like it might burst into flames. Unknown. Hey Mark. You don't know me, but you really need to hear something about your wife. My brother leaned over my shoulder. Dude, that's either spam or the universe giving you a hint. I typed back slowly, every word deliberate. Me. Who is this? The response came instantly. Unknown. My name's Cora. I'm Trevor's ex. My heart hiccuped. Trevor. Of course. The man who ordered a $300 bottle of wine on my anniversary. The man Jenna had practically melted for all evening. The next message came before I could even breathe. Cora, I didn't know how to reach you. I found your number through a mutual contact. I'm sorry if this is intrusive, but it's important. My brother whispered, ask her what she means. But I didn't need prompting. My fingers were already moving. Me. What's this about? A full minute passed. The three dots appeared, disappeared, reappeared. Finally, Cora, I think your wife and Trevor have been involved for a while. I didn't have proof, but tonight confirmed it. My hands went cold. My brother sat back, jaw tightening. Damn, I swallowed, forcing myself to keep reading. Me. What happened tonight? Another pause. Cora, they were supposed to meet after your dinner. He told a friend he was going to break the news to you soon. I didn't understand what that meant until I heard you left them at the restaurant. Break the news? Break what news? I felt something between nausea and electricity crawl up my spine. I typed, me. What news? The reply was slower this time. Cora, I think Jenna was planning to tell you she wants to leave you for him. Silence. A thick, suffocating kind. I didn't breathe, didn't blink, didn't move. My brother cursed under his breath. Man, I'm so sorry. But I wasn't ready to believe it. Not yet. Not without proof. Me. Do you have anything concrete? Anything at all? Cora responded almost immediately. Cora, yes, but it's better if we talk in person. I can show you everything. Suddenly my phone buzzed with a new notification from Jenna this time. Jenna, if you don't come home now, don't bother coming tomorrow. Grow up and stop sulking. You made Trevor uncomfortable. You owe him an apology. This is your fault. I stared at her barrage of blame. And for the first time, I didn't feel confused. I felt clarity. Cold. Quiet. Sharp. If Jenna and Trevor truly were cheating, then Cora wasn't the only one who deserved answers. I typed one final message. Me to Cora. Tell me where to meet. Cora chose a 24-hour coffee shop across town, the kind with harsh fluorescent lighting and tired baristas who've seen too many late-night breakdowns to judge anymore. It felt like the right place for the collapse of a marriage. I spotted her instantly. Early 30s, hair pulled into a messy bun, dark circles under her eyes. You don't get that look from lack of sleep alone. You get it from betrayal. She waved me over. Mark. I nodded and sat. My hands weren't shaking, but only because some part of me had shut off entirely. Frozen. Waiting. I'm sorry to drag you into this, she said softly. I really am. But after tonight, I couldn't stay silent. Show me, I said. No preamble. No pleasantries. Just the truth. She unlocked her phone, scrolled, and turned the screen toward me. It was a text thread between Trevor and someone saved as Jenna Kissmark. The first message I saw was a punch to the ribs. Jenna Kissmark. Dinner tonight will be perfect. He has no idea. I felt my jaw tighten. Cora kept scrolling. Trevor. Once you tell him, we can finally stop sneaking around. I'm so tired of pretending. Jenna Kissmark. Me too. He'll be upset, but honestly, he's so passive, he'll probably just accept it. Passive. That's what she thought of me. A doormat. A placeholder. Cora scrolled again, her voice trembling slightly. It gets worse. A message from 3 days ago. Jenna Kissmark. I swear if he ruins this, I'm going to scream. He's been so clingy lately. Trevor. Just keep him calm until Friday. After you tell him, we can go public. Friday. The day after our anniversary. The day she planned to end our marriage, at the dinner I arranged. Suddenly, everything I'd ignored came crashing down in crystal clarity. The coldness. The attitude. The sudden obsession with spending more time away from home. The bitchy dismissals of everything I did. She wasn't drifting from me. She'd already left. I forced myself to keep looking. To read every message. To burn the truth into my brain so I wouldn't be stupid enough to doubt it later. Cora swallowed. I'm sorry. I didn't have proof until recently. He erased most of the messages, but I had backed up screenshots. I didn't think he'd betray me this way. You were together? I asked quietly. She nodded. 3 years. I thought we were serious. Turns out he was juggling both of us. Both of us. Of course he was. These two didn't find each other. They deserved each other. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed again. Jenna, where are you? Answer or I swear I'll come drag you home. You're acting like a child. Cora raised an eyebrow. She doesn't know you're gone? No, I said. But that's about to change. Because I realized something important, sitting in that ugly coffee shop under fluorescent lights. Jenna thought she was orchestrating the perfect breakup. She thought she controlled the timing, the outcome, the narrative. She had no idea the script had already flipped. And tomorrow, she was going to learn what happens when the passive, predictable husband stops playing the role she assigned him. I got home around 9 a.m. after a long shower at my brother's and an even longer look at myself in the mirror. I didn't look broken. I didn't look furious. I looked done. Jenna was pacing the living room like a storm trapped indoors. The moment she saw me, her expression twisted. Where the hell have you been? I've been calling all night. I know, I said, setting my keys on the counter. Calm. Controlled. She folded her arms. So? Explain yourself. I studied her face, every smug line, every entitled breath, and realized something brilliant. She fully, completely believed she still had the upper hand. Sure, I said. But before I explain, you should. She blinked. Explain what? I tilted my head. Whatever you didn't tell me. The thing Trevor asked about. Her throat tightened. Just barely. But enough. You're imagining things, she snapped. This is what you do, make drama. I nodded slowly. Okay. Then you won't mind if I show you something. I pulled out my phone and opened the folder Cora sent. The screenshots, neatly arranged, time-stamped, clear. Jenna's face went white. Mark, wait, those are fake. Trevor would never. He did, I said quietly. For months. She kept talking, fast and sloppy, scrambling for control. You shouldn't have gone through my private messages. That's abusive. That's illegal. You broke my trust. I almost laughed. I broke her trust? I didn't go through anything, I said. Cora sent them. Cora. Her eyes narrowed. She's crazy. Jealous. You can't believe. She has the originals, I said. With backups. Silence. A long, brittle silence where her entire fantasy collapsed. Finally, she tried one last card, rage. You're pathetic. If you were a real man, I wouldn't need. I held up a hand. Just a small gesture. And she shut up. Jenna, I said softly, I'm not here to fight. I'm here to end this. Her mouth opened, closed. And I walked past her, calm as a surgeon, and placed a manila envelope on the coffee table. Inside, a separation agreement. A list of my assets, not hers. A move-out timeline. Proof I'd already removed myself from our joint accounts. I spoke to an attorney this morning, I said. Everything's already in motion. You can't just leave, she sputtered. We have a life, a home, a marriage. No, I said. You and Trevor have a relationship. I had a liability. Her face twisted. You can't do this. What am I supposed to tell people? I shrugged gently. Tell them whatever you told Trevor. Seems like you already rehearsed it. She lunged for my phone suddenly, desperate, maybe hoping to delete something. I stepped aside with effortless calm. Don't, I said. Not a threat, just a fact. Then I picked up my bag, walked to the door, and paused. Oh, and Jenna? She looked up, mascara streaked, furious, terrified. Last night wasn't a meltdown, I said. It was a message. A message, she spit. I smiled faintly. You invited Trevor to our anniversary. So I invited myself out of the marriage. And with that, I closed the door behind me. No yelling. No revenge. Just a clean, perfect exit. Poetic justice wrapped in silence. The kind she'll feel every anniversary for the rest of her life.